Your phone carrier knows more about you than your closest friends. They track where you sleep, where you work, who you call, and when you're most vulnerable. This is an investigation into how anonymous cellular service became possible for the first time in US history, and why the recent Salt Typhoon hack makes private phone service more critical than ever.
Hacking group Salt Typhoon.
The Salt Typhoon.
Last fall, the FBI and CISA attributed compromises at US telecommunications providers to PRC-affiliated actors known as Salt Typhoon.
AT&T alone exposed over 180 million customer records in separate breaches between 2024 and 2025, including social security numbers and call logs. The Chinese state-sponsored Salt Typhoon hack compromised all major US carrier networks. This gave foreign adversaries access to American communication infrastructure for months before detection. The FCC fined the nation's largest carriers nearly $200 million for illegally sharing customers' location data without consent. Sprint and T-Mobile faced fines of over $12 million and $80 million respectively, while AT&T was fined more than $57 million and Verizon almost $47 million. But getting truly private cellular service is becoming easier than ever. Thanks to one man's decade-long legal battle with the FBI, we now have anonymous cellular service options that didn't previously exist. I'm going to show you some methods to get completely private cellular service without revealing your identity, and one of them just became legal in all 50 states for the first time in telecommunications history. Let me start with the most revolutionary development. In December 2025, a carrier called Freely launched as the first fully anonymous cellular service in United States history. The founder, Nicholas Morel, spent over a decade fighting a secret FBI national security letter under the USA Patriot Act. Court restrictions prevented him from even talking about his case for more than 10 years. Morel previously founded the Calyx Institute and developed CalyxOS, giving him deep expertise in privacy technology before creating Freely. When he finally won his NSL case, he used that experience to build Freely. Freely requires no name, no address, no credit check, and no contract. You provide only a zip code, choose a username, and pay. That's it. As Merle puts it, you put a quarter in, you didn't need to identify yourself, and you could call whoever you wanted. And 99.9% of the time, people weren't doing bad stuff. Plans start at $25 per month with all taxes included, operating on T-Mobile's nationwide infrastructure. The key insight Merle discovered is simple. There's no federal law requiring carriers to collect customer names or CPNI, customer proprietary network information. The major carriers do it because they want your data, not because they have to. Freely proves this by operating completely legally while collecting virtually nothing about you. But Freely isn't your only option for privacy. Cape, another privacy-focused carrier, takes a different approach. They partner with organizations like Proton and the Electric Frontier Foundation, offering premium privacy protection for $99 monthly. Cape uses data minimization principles, never asking for names or addresses, and refusing to store full credit card numbers in their systems. For maximum anonymity, there's Silent Link, which operates with a strict zero KYC policy. There's no identification, credit card, or email address required. You pay with Bitcoin, Lightning, or Monero cryptocurrency and receive a data-only eSIM that works in over 160 countries. This service attracts users who need complete financial privacy alongside communications privacy. Now, if you want to take privacy to the next level, you need to consider your phone's operating system. This is where GrapheneOS comes into play. Think of GrapheneOS as a fortified Android without pre-installed Google services. You can install a sandbox version of Google Play to download common apps, but they'll run with significantly reduced permissions. GrapheneOS was restricted to Google Pixel devices for years, not by choice but by necessity. Google's tightened security chips, verified boot systems, and hardware-based memory protections simply weren't available on other devices. But in 2026, that changed. Motorola announced a partnership with the GrapheneOS Foundation at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. This marks the first time this privacy-focused operating system would ship on non-pixel hardware. The first devices are expected in the fourth quarter of 2026 or first quarter of 2027. For those ready to implement these privacy measures today, let me walk you through the most effective approaches. Method 1 is the anonymous SIM setup. You'll need to complete the entire process with alias information, including a pseudonym, separate payment method, anonymous email address, and alternative billing information. The key is maintaining this alias consistently throughout the entire relationship with your carrier. Services like Freely make this dramatically easier by requiring minimal information up front. Method 2 involves GrapheneOS installation on supported Pixel devices. The Pixel 8 and 9 series receive 7 years of security updates and are currently the most recommended devices. Installation requires unlocking your bootloader and following GrapheneOS's detailed installation guide, but the privacy benefits are substantial. Method 3 utilizes burner phone number applications. Services like Burner and Hushed enable multiple temporary numbers for calls, text, and account verifications. Hush specifically never ties phone numbers to real names and only requires an email address for sign-up. Method 4 leverages voice over IP services for maximum privacy. These services separate your communications from traditional cellular infrastructure entirely, routing calls through encrypted internet connections instead. But here's what most privacy guides won't tell you. Every method has critical limitations you must understand. First, your device's IMEI number remains traceable regardless of which SIM card you use. Every time your phone connects to a cell tower, it broadcasts both your IMEI hardware serial number and your IMSI subscriber identity. These identifiers are required by cellular protocols and aren't optional metadata. Third, law enforcement can still investigate anonymous services when presented with proper warrants. These services provide privacy from commercial surveillance, but providers can still be compelled to share available data with law enforcement agencies.
We're required to comply with this law called CALEA, so we have to be responsive to law enforcement requests. Basically, we don't have a ton to offer criminals who are trying to evade law enforcement.
Additionally, SS7 signaling protocol vulnerabilities mean that sophisticated attackers can potentially intercept calls and texts regardless of your carrier, which is why end-to-end encryption is so important. We saw over 3,000 data breaches in the US in 2025. I'm telling you this because most people associate these types of privacy solutions with crime. The reality is, these solutions can obviously be used for bad, but we can't rely on these companies to keep our data safe anymore. They collect massive amounts of data and then fail to protect it. Mobile malware attacks reached 2.8 million incidents monthly. The Salt Typhoon intrusion demonstrated how foreign adversaries can exploit carrier infrastructure for surveillance through Stingray devices and IMSI catchers. FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel emphasized that carriers failed to protect information entrusted to them, and that we're talking about some of the most sensitive data in their possession. Like I said earlier, this isn't really about evading government surveillance. It's about protecting yourself from an ecosystem designed to extract maximum data for corporate profit. Major carriers rely on outdated legacy infrastructure that fundamentally cannot protect users from modern privacy and security threats. The messaging layer adds another crucial component. Signal remains the gold standard for private communications, with its protocol protecting billions of conversations across WhatsApp, Google Messages, and other platforms. CIA Director John Ratcliffe has testified that Signal is actively used by the CIA for day-to-day operations. As Electronic Frontier Foundation Cybersecurity Director Elva Galperin notes, if you show up with a warrant or subpoena to Signal, they have almost nothing about you that they can hand over. For those requiring complete anonymity in messaging, alternatives like Session and Therma operate without phone number requirements. Session uses onion routing and randomly generated account IDs, while Therma assigns 8-digit random identifiers instead of linking to personal information. The fundamental principle underlying all these approaches is data minimization. As Nicholas Merrill explains, we tackle privacy at the front end, because if you don't provide data, it can't be lost or sold. This philosophy represents a complete departure from the surveillance model that dominates modern telecommunications. The tools for 100% private communications now exist and are becoming more accessible. Whether you choose Freely's anonymous simplicity, Cape's premium privacy, SilentLink's cryptocurrency payments, or GrapheneOS's hardened security, you have options that simply weren't available even 2 years ago. Now, for you specifically, it's a question of whether you're ready to prioritize your privacy over the convenience of these services that track your data. If you go the ultimate privacy route, it's obviously going to be way more inconvenient. After all, these big services are popular for a reason. It's because they're good, they're efficient, and they're cost effective. Switching to these private services, along with boycotting services that track you, could potentially be very inconvenient, but it just depends about how much you value your privacy. In my opinion, your online communications deserve the same protection as your most private conversation. These tools make that protection finally achievable. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it would mean the world to me if you liked the video and subscribed. I make videos about everything ranging from cybercriminals to government-backed hackers, all the way into deep web investigations and ethical hacking tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.